Hello, good morning. Oh, well, we've all seen those videos of how to. Well, this is a how to all those Australians, anyway, out there, or maybe dual nationality Australians. You never know. I had to discover a few weeks ago that my passport was due to run out very soon. So I thought to myself, oops, what have I got to do now? It's not a case of running down to Australia Post and filling in the forms and getting a couple of photos. It was going to be a bit more difficult than that here, isn't it? For sure. Well, not really. Here, of course, it's all done through the embassy. The embassy is in MAKATI. It's in the RB Royal something or other, RBCS or something or other, PLAZA. It's the Chinese bank, or no, it's the Royal. I'll put it in the description anyway. But it's in Makati. It's very easy to get to. If you're coming in, you can either catch a grab directly to the embassy, which probably the easiest if you haven't got a vehicle. But if you have a vehicle, we use the Skyway to get us in there so quick, right over the top of all of the traffic down below. And you can imagine what the traffic would have been like going through all of the different suburbs to get to Makati City. Now, first of all, you go online to the Australian passport office. You apply, you just put in Australian passport in Google and it'll find you the site. And initially, they want you to register. So you register, very simple process, and you register and then you can have what pops up is a online fill in your form application. Very simple again, just your name, the current address you're living in, temporary or otherwise, and all your details that you would find on your old passport, like the number, date of expiry, and of course the period of time that you want to have your passport. A good thing to remember is that if you're over 75, you have the opportunity to buy a 5-year passport, which brings the price down quite considerably. It's about $390 odd. You can check that on their website, but it's much lower than the nearly $600 for a 10-year one, an ordinary passport. So, armed with that information, you check it and you submit it. Now, of course, when you submit it, it will ask you to make an appointment. And it will nominate a date to you as to what date your appointment will be. And it's just simple and seamless. It comes up. My particular one took about a week and a half, roughly, from the time I applied to the time I was able to go in yesterday to actually file my papers. Of course, when I got there, I went, oh no, I've left my addressed envelope behind, which of course you need to be able to send the passport office to the office in Australia and also receive it back, the new one. But I didn't do it. So I was thinking, I've got to go and have another appointment and do it all over again. Surprise, surprise. Well, they invite you into a little office up there on the 22nd or 23rd floor of the RSBC building, I think it's called. Anyway, went in, had my little interview, had all my papers laid out, so they were able to double check everything. And if you made a mistake, there's a section in there where at the time I had crossed the ordinary passport instead of the reduced 5-year one. So all you do is you run a line through it, and then they ask you to sign your signature underneath it, which is what I did. No problem whatsoever. So any kind of corrections you need to make, you can make at the time. Then remember this, most important, they don't take cash. So you have to have a debit card, or you can have an overseas credit card, and you can pay either in Australian dollars or pesos. I chose to use my peso debit card. And the cost for that was 14,233 pesos, something like that. Don't hold me to the exact peso, but it was about that. Then they hand to you a sheet of paper that gives you all the information about where you are, which is the embassy, the actual street address, telephone number, all that type of stuff. And it directs you. I found that a little confusing, but nevertheless, it is there to help you find a JRS courier service. It's literally, probably the best way to describe it is you come out of the embassy, you turn left outside the building. You're inside the building itself, but one of them is it's in the second tower. As you come out of security into what you call the real world, the foyer of the building, if you turn left and go back up to the street, there's a French bakery kind of cafe on your right, just as you go out. Now, as you go out the door, you look to the right and you look straight ahead. Now, if you go straight ahead, you'll go over an intersection, and then a little bit further on the bend beyond that intersection is a Mercury drug place, like a chemist. And right next door is JRS Courier. Now, I don't know why they don't give you that simple information. They tell you to take the underpass off. And I can assure you the underpass is very clean, very safe, and it's very confusing also, because if you're not sure where the name of the road, you've got to use your bunk of location. If you go down, and you'll still know that if you go left or right, you're heading in the right direction. So you go down the escalator. No, you go down the stairs. The escalator comes up. You go down the stairs. When you get to an arch, which literally goes, you realize it's going under a road. You know that because there's an arch. At the moment, they're still recladding that part. But as you walk straight ahead, there's then a wall, which allows you to go left or right. Now, having known that, I would be coming up, turning left and going up the escalator. And then I'm on the right side of the road to go just a little bit along to the bend. Mercury drug is there, and next door is the courier service. Now, the courier, I'm thinking, oh no, it's going to probably cost $25, whatever. 272 pesos for both envelopes, not for one, but for the two. One is to have one to send it away with your address. No, the address of the embassy. And the other one is the return one, back to you. Now, of course, you can make an appointment and go and physically pick up the passport. But why do that? Because like the English one, they have a very secure passport delivery service done by the courier company. And they deliver it, making sure that they're 100% there. They've got the right person. So that's all I had to do. You don't even have to take it back to the embassy, because the courier service will take those two packages, the two envelopes, plastic envelopes, and they will deliver them to the embassy down the road up to the 23rd floor. So it's very simple, very painless, and don't believe everything everybody says how difficult it is. It's like applying for the English one. It's just that you do have to go into MAKATI to actually file your papers. Unlike the English one, where you can take a lot of the photos, even the photographs themselves, with your camera at home. In the case of the Australian one, they want a proper passport photo, you know, from here to here. No smiling, you know, the usual bits and bobs. Now, they asked for 2. Strangely enough, they actually asked for 3 when I was there. And I had a couple of spare ones there, and they cut them themselves and hand you back what they're not using. So again, very polite guys, hardly a foreigner face in the place. The same location is also in that building for the Canadian consulate and the German consulate. So if you're looking as a German national or a Canadian national, that's where you go. I always call it the Royal Bank of China, something or other, but you know the one I mean. That's the name of the building. It's called a PLAZA. Anyway, I'll try and see if I can find the name, and I'll put it down. But anyway, that's a very simple and easy video explaining how easy. Oh, the other thing is it takes approximately 6 weeks for you to get your passport back. So if you're ready to travel somewhere, you'll have to get your skates on and do it as quickly as possible. They don't have a fast service in Australia. They do, but not over here as an embassy. But I believe you can, in certain circumstances, like a lost passport, they will issue you a temporary one from your embassy. But again, always double check. Contact the phone number or the email. That's the best way to do it. Don't take my word for it. Take the Aussies, or take the Canadians or the Germans, because the embassy knows what is required. They have a guideline that comes out that you can print out. But again, some of those things are a little outdated. Maybe they change weekly or maybe monthly. Who knows? But that's the latest one. Here we are, almost the end of February 2025. So that's the latest update. So if you like this, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, PayPal me /John N. Childs. Love to hear from you. Bye now.